Hey, what's up, guys? Jackson here with Toasty DIY, and today, I figured since it's another somewhat nice day out, it's actually in like the 50s, I figured I'd do like a little garage tour. So, yeah, my garage is probably like I wouldn't say the dirtiest it's ever been, but it's definitely close. There's all kinds of crap everywhere, but it's one of those things where, I've been working in here for like 6 years, so I know where every little thing is. So it's not a huge deal for me, but it's going to look really cluttered for you guys. So I guess we'll just go ahead and start from the toolboxes back here. So up top, we have half-inch impact stuff. We have, butane and MAP gas for getting stuck bolts and whatnot off. We have hex keys right there, all the safety stuff, so gloves, glasses, and whatnot. And then I'm really not going to go through each individual drawer, but we have like vice grips. All the drawers are sorted out. There's wrenches. Yeah, these are just random. Those are like SAE sockets I don't often use. Two different types of torque wrenches. I really like this set here. Really nice gear wrench set. And I'll be showing you guys some kind of rare stuff as well. This is just random Harbor Freight crap. We have Makita. Makita is like my choice of power tools. So I have a Makita 1/4 inch impact, a Makita drill, Makita light, which is really bright, ready to get blinded. Oh, yep, right. That's probably really bright. I feel bad for you guys. And then actually Makita Sawzall. This is a brushless Sawzall, and that thing is amazing. Like, it's one of the best tools I've ever gotten, probably. But yeah, this is like a 30, 40-year-old Craftsman box. I really like it. I got it used. It's like the first toolbox I ever really purchased. This was actually a gift from my grandpa. This was like the first box I was ever given, and I got this before I had any other tools, really. But it's just all your standard stuff, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8, and then a bunch of screwdrivers up top, and I've kind of collected more over time. We have a skill saw, or sorry, not skill saw, skill bench grinder here that just has a kind of fine grit on one side. We have just steel wire brush on the other side. We have a 110 volt welder down here that's just it can do flux and it can do actual MIG. Like, it has gas hookups and everything, but it's just a cheap Lowe's welder, and it's done me good. I don't try to use it too often because it's flux, and flux will rust really bad, plus it's nasty looking, so try not to use it too often. We have a drill press right here, 5-speed drill press. This was like 40 bucks from Harbor Freight, and this was a amazing purchase. I mean, this thing actually works like really awesome. It has LED light on the side where I put an LED bulb in it. But yeah, I've been able to drill through some really thick stuff with it. I mean, I've drilled through stuff like this. I've been able to actually drill through like 1/2 inch steel. I've even used up here. This is just a cheap Harbor Freight set of hole saws, and I've been able to drill through 1/2 inch steel almost with it and actually get round holes. It takes forever, and you almost need a new hole saw by the time you're done with it, but it does it. Back wall here, we just have all kinds of tools. We got magnet strips up top. It's all pegboard on the wall, of course. This is where I like to keep most of my wrenches, just because they're easy to get to. They're sorted, from big to small. We have crescent wrenches there. Sorry, not crescent wrenches, but adjustable wrenches. This is just like cheap flatheads, cheap Phillips screwdrivers. This is kind of like the easy access wall. I just come over here and grab stuff when I want to use it. I'm not really worried about like losing it or breaking it. Now the Snap-on box, this is like one of my favorite investments. This is from the early 60s, I believe, maybe 70s, but I'm pretty sure it's early 60s, but I'm no Snap-on expert. It's a pretty big box, though. It has a top chest and a locker on the side. This works right here. This actually comes down. I don't ever use it, though, to basically cover everything up. Some pretty cool old stickers on here as well. Like that there. And I have a drawer full of old Snap-on stickers, actually, but almost everything Snap-on that you guys are going to see, and like a lot of my tools are from the 70s and under. There's really nothing that's new here. I mean, there's some stuff, but most of it's not. We have a Cornwell 1/2 inch breaker bar there that's swivel head and everything. That's really handy. All kinds of older name brand stuff. I've actually sold quite a few Snap-on things I had, just because I'm not super name brand tour, but I am to an extent. It's, of course, favorite ratchet right here. It's like your standard Snap-on 3/8 ratchet that has a pretty long straight handle, so that's really nice to have. This is a really nice gear wrench, adjustable 1/4 inch. I love this thing. It's actually really nice. And then I also really like my stubby. These are like the main 3 ratchets I use. This right here is a Matco like 72 tooth or maybe even more stubby 1/4 inch ratchet. We have some cops coming, it sounds like. All kinds of extensions. We got extensions for days. We got swivel, and like 15-degree angle ones and everything. We have all the adapters over here. You know, I try to keep pretty well organized. I'm not perfect, but you know, it's something. This is a really awesome set here from Amazon. If anybody wants it, you know, I can drop a link for you. But this is it's 5 millimeter all the way through 15, which is a really wide variety. Shallow sockets that are swivel, which they can do like crazy angles, but these are like awesome to have. Like if you're actually a mechanic or do a lot of DIY stuff, you absolutely need those because they'll get to places you never thought you could get to. Yeah, there's tweezers in that drawer. This is a drawer full of keys, apparently. It's just old keys that I've just kind of kept. We have some hex wrenches in there. Let's see, the first big drawer. We have, you know, Mac line wrenches here, or pipe fitting wrenches. Here's some Snap-on. Like, I've never even used these, honestly, but they're, like, basically gear wrenches, and they're metric. You know, and I mostly use metric. That's pretty much all I work on is metric stuff. I mean, I've had stuff that's standard, but it's very rare. So, you know, a lot of the stuff I just keep just because I love antique stuff. So a lot of the stuff I kind of hoard. Like, I barely use it. I mean, sometimes I will, but a lot of it I just keep. This was an awesome investment here. Knipex pliers. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with them. German made. They're incredibly strong, but it's a really expensive set. So if you're a daily mechanic, they're a must-have. Here we have a Snap-on pry set. Here's a cheap one I bought just to, you know, not screw up the nice ones. 'Cause I don't really have access to a you know, tool truck at the moment. There's some breaker bars in here, and you know, I have a big one that I use way more than those. It's actually down right here. It's a Snap-on one, and then there's another crowbar below it. Here's like a hammer drawer and some other random stuff. I try to keep organized, but it's not perfect. Here's a really nice Snap-on punch set. I love that. Use that all the time. And then some pliers as well down there. We have this to be able to pull stuff and whatnot with, kind of like a hammer bar, crow's foot. Let's see, down here this is just like a cluster. I mean, there's all kinds of random cutting tools. I don't really feel like taking it out because if I pull one thing out, everything's just gonna fall out. Under here we just have like, these are Roadster calipers and stuff, just crap that I need to like sell or just get rid of, and I just have been like too lazy to do it. Now over here, this is where the cool stuff kind of is. So we have all kinds of like old receipt books and stuff in here. I have, you know, ventilation masks and everything that are 3M, oil filter wrenches, really large wrenches under there. This is all my pneumatic stuff. There's also a timing light back there apparently. And now up to the cool stuff. So here we have a Snap-on commemorative set. This is like I guess the Indy 500 commemorative set, but it's unopened. This actually has the plastic film over it, so these are like brand new, and it's pretty cool. I want to say this was 80s, like early 80s, but I could be wrong. This here is really cool. Let's see if I can one-hand this. Maybe. Come on, we're getting it. All right, and we're there. All right, so this is a Mac knife, actually. Just like a little pocket knife, but this is really cool as well. And it's actually been slightly used. I don't know why, but whoever had it before did use it a little bit, but it's not too bad. So that's 84. So I'm guessing, I think the Snap-on set's around the same time of who I bought it from. Just because they started being a mechanic in like the 80s, and they started getting, you know, more expensive stuff towards, or sorry, they didn't start in the 80s, it started in the 60s, and they started getting more expensive stuff towards the 80s, and that's kind of when they quit being a mechanic, was like late 80s, I believe. So that's why I said most of the stuff is like 70s. You know, it's kind of like the average, I would say. So that kind of wraps it up for like the tools and whatnot. Over here, this is the 280Z battery that was like brand new when I got it, and I just let it sit for way too long, so I've done a trickle charger just to keep it alive. Here's some wiring harnesses I need to sell. It's two or three wiring harnesses for this car, the 280Z, and now that I ordered that harness adapter kit, which is the Godzilla one, you know, I'm not even gonna need those anymore. Here's a scroll saw that has some aluminum on it. All these aluminum sheets here that are pretty nice. We have some aluminum tubing that we were cutting with it. I was actually using a wood blade, and it was cutting surprisingly well, but you know, it's aluminum. Over here, this is where I keep like my gloves and stuff for the air compressor. Also some Dremel stuff I didn't even know was there. This air compressor is a great buy. If you're wanting something that's quiet, fills up pretty quick. It has dual outlet as well, which is really nice. Not that you'd be using that too often with the 26-gallon compressor, but you know, long story short, it's 26 gallons. It's I believe 150 psi. So it's 150 psi. It's pretty high psi, and it's quiet. That's my favorite part. Is I can have this on with the garage door open at night, and I don't have to worry about waking anyone up. So really good buy, honestly. I mean, you know, you could spend more and get a bigger one, or sorry, you can spend the same amount and get a bigger clear one, but it's going to be really loud if you don't get a quiet series, obviously. I recently got one of these because we have a 4-post lift, so I figured, you know, I might as well have a drain for it, so I'm not draining stuff 5 feet in the air and like having it splash everywhere. Here's some random like tubing and whatnot that's for the Z as well. These things are really cool. So those are creepers that transform into chairs. I usually leave them in chair form, but they have like little clips here that you just pull out and then you can make them into creepers. I also have a red creeper right over there below the oil pan, so I don't use it too often. This was another actually really good purchase. I've used it a fair amount of times, and this is more recent, but you can see I have a little vise, you know, mounted to it. I kind of try to make this like a little everything because I don't have a lot of room in here. This is a 1-car garage and it has a 4-post lift in it. But this was like 120 from Harbor Freight. It's a 12-ton press, just used as a bottle jack. That's basically, you know, the actual leverage for the whole system, or I don't even know how to call it, but it's basically what actually provides all the pressure. You know, it's not pneumatic or anything. It just uses a hydraulic jack. But yeah, I can do 12 tons, you know, it's came in handy. I haven't had anything that it didn't do. So on top here we have another bench grinder, or this one's actually considered to be a bench buffer, and that's what it kind of came with, was 2 of these wheels. But I actually swapped one out for a brass wire wheel. I really wanted something to do like, you know, aluminum and like really fine jobs, like things that I didn't want to be all scratched up, and you know, I don't want to use mild steel on it. Basically, this is just for like stainless steel, aluminum, stuff like that, so polishing and whatnot. But you know, it's a pretty quiet rig. It might sound loud as hell on the phone, but it's quiet, I promise. Yeah, I welded this to the side. Well, I didn't weld it. I'm one of those people that don't like to make permanent changes, so I made this little basket to where it has washers through it, and then it's connected onto here, so it can be taken off. But I'm one of those people that don't like to weld stuff to equipment and whatnot, because I never know when I'm going to sell it or get new stuff, and I don't want to ruin it for someone else. So, you know, we made a temporary change. Over here, this is the box of Z stuff that I'm taking off the Z right now. Here is like the wall of just woe. So when I put these shelves up, which I don't know if you guys noticed or I didn't show it, but I did shelves all the way around the garage, and that's kind of how I maximize space saving here. And I even had to cut into the shelves to get the 4-post lift in, which actually, believe it or not, lifts all the way up if you wanted to. Obviously, if there's a car in here, the garage ceiling's short, so I can't really do that. But yeah, we have all the spray cans. We have, you know, brake grease, or wheel bearing grease. We have all different kinds of greases and glue in there. Here's like the cleaning shelf. This is any type of cleaning supplies that I use. It's not really that well organized right now, but we got all that stuff there. We got 100-foot. Recently, my mom got this actually. It's like 100-foot, you know, slinky hose where it looks really short, but as soon as you fill it with water, it gets incredibly long. So that's really nice to have. We have a like 1500 psi electric pressure washer. It's like the smallest one you can get. It comes in handy for doing like car cleaning and stuff, but it's not very powerful, so I don't suggest it for much more than that. Here's the ramps for the lift. You know, I have those off right now. Now, I modified the ramps. I made them a little bit shorter to where the garage door will actually close with the ramps. They come to like right about here, so that's nice to have as well. And they're easy to take off, you know, and it has a tray and everything too. I actually had to I had to modify the lift. Sorry, I couldn't talk there for a second. Modify the lift and make this side come in a little bit, because all my cars have such a short wheelbase that it just didn't make sense to have it as wide as it can be. Of course, it's reversible. I just basically had to drill new holes, you know, for that to happen. But yeah, you know, we had to shorten the lift, which kind of sucks because some things don't fit like they should now, as such as the oil changing portion of it and everything, and these guys here to catch drippage when you have another car under it. But as far as like over here goes, that's where I keep all the you know, safety jacks and whatnot. That's where I keep one of the jacks. I have another big one outside. It's like 4 tons, I think. Soldering stuff up here. We have all kinds of wire. I'm a computer engineer by college, so you know, I do a lot of electrical work. This is not even touching what like I have as far as electrical stuff goes. This is really nice, Harbor Freight special. You know, I can get them for I think under $10, and it just mounts onto the wall. And we have some more shelvery. These are nice too. These are like under $10 from Harbor Freight as well, and they're just rail mounts that you can also mount to the wall. So we've got all kinds of random goodies in there. And then I guess the last thing that I can think of to show is these here. These are just full of stuff. Any of you guys don't know, I love assortment kits. I have like an assortment kit fetish. You know, it's kind of weird, but yeah, I love assortment kits. You know, I label all the kits like what they are. You know, vacuum connector, hose clamps, etc. But there's probably a good 15 assortment kits in here, and I love having them because, you know, if I ever need anything, I just take the assortment kit out there, and I have everything I could possibly need in the assortment kit, so I don't have to worry about spending hours, you know, looking for stuff. I'd rather just have it here on hand. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to show you guys as far as the garage tour goes. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, I totally forgot about all this stuff up here. Yeah, all kinds of other tools up top as well, like leak down tester. This is where like all the bigger stuff is, like, you know, the camera, the power probe, which that's like the power probe 3, I believe, or 2. Leak down tester, you know, compression testers, like engravers up there. There's all kinds of drill bits. This set right here is a really nice full snap-on drill bit set. Mighty Vac vacuum gauge, more propane, bunch of other crap. Yeah, actually, there's a third row of shelves up here where there's like a vacuum, a couple of vacuums actually, leaf blower and some other stuff. Empty toolboxes up there. So yeah, I mean that pretty much wraps up the tour though. You guys get the gist of it. We got a lot of stuff in here, but hopefully, you know, we'll get it more clean soon, or even get, you know, bigger garage one day. I'm sure we will, right? But yeah, we hope to see you guys in the next one, and peace out.